a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
I love that intro. Bouncy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good intro.
So Christian's here. It's I don't know if anybody's here.
Penny's here.
Is Penny here?
Yeah,
I didn't see her.
Christian and Penny.
So, but our audience at KGRA is here. We are
Oh,
live on KGRA. We have thousands of listeners right now going, "What's this TGIF and what's it all about?" I like the intro theme. It's very good, y'all. Oh my God. It is Friday, end of the week. First part of the show, first hour, we usually talk about news that's going on over at Geekosity. Normally we have somebody from Geekosity here, but not today. Mikey Sutton's been too busy with his new TV show. And Kieran had to go out on a date with his woman. Yeah. So he's out living it up tonight. It's late over there in the UK right now. It's evening. So he's out with his woman, and we're going to just talk without him about stuff. Plus, we have other news that I kind of wanted to go over. Really, wow, what a week. What a week. And I do like it because Mags, Magitech Mags, she really got a kick out of my comment over the whole WGA friggin', going on strike. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. One, WGA goes on strike because they're upset that they're going to be replaced by AI. So they stop working. Studio executives go, hey, why don't we just use the AI while they're gone to write scripts, and then when they decide to come back, have them finish the scripts and clean them up. And I'm like, this shit it just writes itself. They don't even need AI or screenwriters anymore. Just fucking life writes itself.
Yep.
The irony is just so dripping on this situation.
Yeah.
And I do like what Danny said this morning, by the way.
I missed it.
He made a really good statement. It's a statement that I stand by too, that I understand that the purpose of unions is supposed to protect the workers from being abused by their employers, to make sure they're paid a proper wage for what they do. But when the life of the union is more important than the individual units that pay to keep it alive, that's a problem. And that's why I've never been in a union. I refuse to, and I'll never be in one. Because I think they're bad for that reason, because they're their own life form. They don't really care about the cells that make it. It's like the thing,
Well, as Midnight Edge said, the WGA might as well ask for their Lamborghini and a gold-plated toilet, because that's how ridiculous their demands are.
And I want to support all my writer friends. I really do. I want to individually support each one of them. But I do not support the WGA. I don't support unions at all. I find a problem and a flaw in their existence, in how they run their business. Don't like it. But I don't want to see my friends suffer, because we have a lot of good friends. Cameron Pasha, Script Doctor, a lot of guys who are writers that work in the industry that are being forced into this. So I dislike that people who don't want to strike are forced into it too. That bugs me. This does, though, have a boost effect. We talked about it this morning, that, back in 2008, during that strike, you saw late night TV go in a new direction because of Craig Ferguson. A little bit of Conan Bryan, mostly Craig Ferguson. He changed the landscape by going completely 100% improv. And improved everything. Didn't increase the number of guests or how long the guest was on. His opening to the end was the exact same setup, just without writers. And he would improv him and what's his name, Robertson, that did the voice of Jeffrey Peterson. I'm so excited that he's, the hint is that he is bringing him back. In his interview, he said, me and my talking puppets is what he said. And I'm like, automatically, I know it's his sock puppet that he's referring to that too, but he absolutely has to be referring to Roberts, who does the voice of Jeffrey Peterson, which is really one of the greatest additions to late night I've ever seen. Jeffrey Peterson. What a oh my!
Yeah, I can't.
In my
Hopefully,
pants.
that kind, especially with the writers' strike, I'm hoping that shows up sooner rather than later.
Hey, Joe's in the house.
Hey Joe, how's it going, buddy? How's everybody doing? Let's see who's all here. We've got 30 comments already. Christian Delorme, Penny is here. Dragon Ruse, Sox Bulletin's here. Good to see you, man. Let's see. Joe's Atmosphere is here. Anybody else popping in yet? No, that's just
you
it.
Completely missed your girlfriend.
Was Anima? I didn't see her. Oh, there
Hi,
she
Anima.
is. Yeah,
I won't skip you.
I didn't skip her. Fuck you. You are looking really good, John. I didn't want to steal the thunder from everybody wanting to compliment you on your looks earlier. You're losing a lot of weight, buddy. You can see it in your face, your neck, and your shoulders. And it's looking good, my friend. Looking good.
120 pounds to go to my target weight.
Amen. Amen. You'll do it because you've already hit 80 some now. So
just over 80.
Yeah, you're on the way, man. You're on the way. Let's see. Were the unions created by the mob? No, they were created by communists.
Yeah.
It was a way that communists were able to infiltrate into capitalism, is through forced organizational. I forget what it's called, where they force companies to pay or they walk, and they go on strike. And every single union was linked directly. Every single one of them was linked directly to the communist parties. A party, period, singular. And they'll go, well, they're more socialists. It's like, look, man, socialism is just democratic communism. It's the same thing. It's the same animal, same principles, same ideas. You know, there you go. But, you know, I don't need you or Anima shitting on me in the chat. Fuck you guys.
I didn't. All I did was say you're welcome, Anima. That's all I said. I didn't shit on you at all.
All right, I'm going to share this screen here real quick. This is Bush McFadden's doggy. Took a photograph and it's funny. I like this.
It's
this
cute.
There you go. Stella.
I thought you were going to do the tongue one.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I just saw those two. You leave for work. I barf on your carpet.
Yeah, that's in the PCM group, the one with his dog sticking his tongue out at him.
I'm scrolling back. I don't see it.
That was just a little bit ago.
Oh, there it is. There he is. He's in the grass. Yeah, that's cute. He's a cute dog. Cute dog. So,
little white
I
Scotty.
guess a wee Scotty. Oh wait, no, he's not a Scotty, is he? He's a
I thought he was
Schnauzer. I think he's
he's a Schnauzer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's a Schnauzer. I'm looking at his head. Yeah, that's a Schnauzer. I love them. They're good dogs, man.
I'm not real up on what dog species is what. I can tell like Doberman and stuff like that, but the little ones, I'm like, okay.
You know what's really funny? Men pins aren't actually pinchers at all. They're just a variation of a Chihuahua.
Yeah.
I had a cute little applehead Chihuahua. My daughter and I adopted a little girl because she was 14 and her owner had died and they were going to put her down. And because she was so old. Yeah. And I'm like, no, we'll give her a home. And we did. We took her home. And that was such a weird dog, man. She was so tiny. She was terrified of grass. She refused to go to the bathroom outside. She had to be completely pottied inside. I would buy her pads and she would pee and poop on the pads. She would not go in the grass. She hated grass. And she also, like my buddy Chris, the cop in Lebanon, Missouri, he, I swear to God, he drinks the fruitiest drinks. Everything's got to have a fruity taste to it. He likes those wine coolers or the vodka mixer ones that they sell in the bottle. Yeah. Lots of fruit flavor in it. And I'm like, Jesus, drink a man's drink, for God's sake. Even though any drink's a drink. I'm just shitting on my friend. And he would set the glass down on the floor, and she would get into it and drink it. This little tiny chihuahua. And I remember we left to go get some charcoal. We were going to grill. We were getting some charcoal, and when we got back, I walked in, and my dog was staggering in a circle in the front room, this little chihuahua. And it scared the shit out of me because she's so tiny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, alcohol could kill her. And I yelled at him, "Put your fucking drinks on the table, you bastard." Man, every single time it happened, it was because he set his drink on the floor someplace where she could get a hold of it. She liked those fruity drinks, man. She really did. And she would drink the hell out of them. And I tried, it was a total, I think, 3 times. And my poor Zoe would start crying. "I'm going to die." I told her, "No, we just got to walk her. Keep her walking." And it works the alcohol out of her system.
Yeah.
And it goes quickly. A lot of people don't realize the metabolism of dogs is faster than a human. So all you gotta do is just walk them for about 20, 30 minutes and they'll start clearing up. But yeah, I've never had a dog drink like that. I've had dogs that like beer. Like every dog I've ever had likes beer. And
It's weird.
I saw a dog recently that pour the beer and they just like start lapping at the pouring beer. Is really cute.
Yeah.
But every dog I've ever had, and I've had schnauzers, I've had golden retrievers, German shepherds, and malamutes, and all of them love beer. Oh, sweet Jesus. Christian Delorme heard a joke. Okay, let's hear the joke. 30-year-old guy was asked how long he was married. He said 42 years. And then he said, "I count in dog years because my wife is a bitch." All right, Christian.
Yeah.
Hey, Danny.
Hey, man, I haven't seen you in a while. Beer is disgusting.
I agree.
It's on a taste.
I like real beer. I don't like that piss water shit. Like
I have a reason. I'm allergic to hops, so.
Well, hops is one of the least favorite things to drink. I don't like hoppy beers at all. That's why Springfield Brewing Company, I don't drink any of their beer. It's all hoppy. They're like, "Oh, we've got this chocolate stout or coffee stout." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, it's hoppy." I don't like the taste or smell of hoppy beers. My preferred drink, of course, is Guinness Stout. No hops. I like the stronger brews.
All things being equal, I'm drinking single malt.
Whiskey's really good, but a single malt, single barrel. I've had some Jack Daniel single barrel. I'm not a fan of Jack Daniels. I had that single barrel. That was really good. Bushmills Black.
Yeah.
One of the best whiskeys I've ever had.
There's some Japanese whiskeys that are really good.
You know what? I like Japanese beer because it's technically really not a beer. It's rice. It's made from rice. And I got to tell you, it's smooth. I like their beer.
Yeah, I can drink Sapporo without throwing up. So
Tsingtao is their beer, and I like that. Oh man, that's good beer. No one's
more
buying
like Chinese than Japanese.
No, right now it's Tsingtao is Chinese. It is Chinese. Did I say Japanese? I apologize.
Yeah,
it's Chinese. No one is buying Bud Light as of now. I wonder why. Well, clearly, you know why. We all know why. We don't even have to talk about it. We know exactly what's going on. And right now, Costco is pretty much giving away Bud Light just to get it out of the store.
Yeah, I heard like cases are going for like $12.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Cheap.
I mean, that's what we used to when I used to do beer runs in college. That's what I used to get Milwaukee Beast for $10, $12 a 12 pack or 24 pack. And I'm like, now they're down to that prices now.
Yeah, and there's another beer that I despise is Mickey's Big Mouth. It's a malt liquor.
Yeah. And
it's so gross. And it's the only beer that ever made me throw up when I got drunk on it. I was 18, and I'd never drank it again. I've never had it since I was 18. I still remember that. It's like it was yesterday. That, the nausea.
Yeah. Well, I drink a regular beer. It's coming up within 10 minutes. I guarantee it.
I was going to say something. I'm not going to say it.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
You have no idea what I was going to say.
I can imagine.
So, driving a dump truck at the moment is Dennis. And then Dragoner says, my sister is happy. She loves Bud Light. I asked her, when will she transition? She slapped me. So, like, immediately. Guinness, yuck, foamy loaf of bread. Look, man, you're lucky I'm friends with you. You're fucking Canadian.
Hey, Dennis, I'm hoping for hams to make a comeback.
By the way, I'm very proud of
the fact
that Christian's son has the artwork, the portrait I did of him and his dad on his wall in the barracks. I'm very proud of that.
That name, Schlitz, that sounds almost obscene.
I got to tell you something, man. I drink way too much Schlitz back in the day.
Wait, look who's here!
We have a wild Keith appeared.
Good afternoon.
Is he? There he is. Okay, he's here. Keith. I sometimes think that when he pops in, it's practically his version of a butt dial.
Well,
like, I didn't mean to come in here.
How are you doing, Keith?
I'm all right. All right. Yeah.
You sound a little tired.
Little tired. Going over all the information about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I'm really hoping this movie does well. I'm really, really hoping this movie does well.
Well, I know that our good buddy Marty is at the theater now. I think he's actually probably done seeing it. Everybody has said, look, it's good. It's not great. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's, word is it's not doing well in the box office and critics hate it. I don't care what critics think. I care what the audience thinks.
Yeah. I think everybody that has worked on those films has worked their butts off. They've done exactly what they needed to do, and they are the last untainted remnants of what everyone liked about the MCU left. I mean, this is it. Everybody connected with this stuff in front of and behind the camera. I just think that this being James Gunn's last film for Marvel, I would like to see this film do well. I think he's earned that from all of us as audience members that have enjoyed the first two films and the holiday special.
Yeah.
Did you hear my announcement on the big news today?
No, I haven't had a chance. I'm just getting home.
Aerosmith 4 days ago announced their big tour, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And then what's his name? Joe Perry throws some shade at Steven Tyler about the album with what's her name? Dolly Parton. Okay. Mm-hmm. Calls him a sellout. Calls the whole thing a sellout.
Wow.
Not just Tyler, but doing it as a sellout. And Tyler got pissed. They got into a heated argument. So heated, the tour has been canceled and their planned album is over. It's never going to happen. They have officially permanently broken up, is what they said.
Yeah, just like they did 30 plus years ago, 40 years
ago.
I
know, back in the 70s. And they broke up again, I think, in 2015 or something. They had a little fight. But this one, Scott came in and told me all about it, said that this was a really knockdown, drag-out fight, that they're done with each other.
Well, I'm sure they are.
They're old enough that, like, what? They're going to get together in, like, 8 years?
If not sooner. Look, here's the thing. Unless they've sold their catalog, they're going to eventually get back together. Okay? So I'm not trying to be that guy, but I'm just saying Unless
don't think they're going to do it. They're too old, man.
Yeah, it's not like they got something else to go do, and it's not like anybody else is
Oh
willing
no,
to.
Joe Perry's got his own band with Alice Cooper and Johnny Depp.
Oh, I get that. I do get that, and I'm sure that's part of what's motivating him, because you think about what you put up with. But here's the thing: while he plays, that group that he has with those guys is more about his musical soul, and he can be with those guys and hang out and have fun. But realistically, if you really want to talk about making some money, and if you hadn't drank it or snorted it away by now, they've got at least one more tour to go. I mean, look at Kiss. How many times have they done the "well, this is it, kids" tour? Yeah. And those guys really know how to market themselves. And that you're going to need that, because given a lot of the problems that everybody in that group has faced, can you honestly say that they're not going to be in need of money in about another 5 to 7 years? Or if somebody, they're 3 years from now, somebody's going to run the numbers and say, hey, given the state of music today, you guys come out with another tour, even just a small one, you can really cash out. Because if those two really have been hating each other this much for this long, that means the entire announcement of a farewell tour was really an attempt to mitigate the situation and try to hope that they, can deal with each other long enough to make it through a tour. It's like a marriage, And again, there is completely nothing new about any of this. If you are a real Aerosmith fan, there is nothing really new about any of this.
No.
So I'm not trying to downplay it. I'm just saying nowadays there is one way to really call it quits if you really want to know if somebody's done, and that's when they sell their catalog.
You murder them.
I wouldn't go that far.
I thought that was where you're going.
I'm not talking about permanent, dude, but I'm talking about just sell your catalog.
Oh,
That way, the next time you do anything, you're literally taking half the money, and the other half goes to whoever owns the catalog. So I'm thinking Aerosmith has at least one more tour left in them before they do that.
I don't know. I think they're done. Personally. I've been seeing this coming for a while. So
Yeah.
That's what she said. Let's get into this. New Republic movie will utilize characters from all Star Wars universe media, written by our friend Kieran Bug. I love Kieran. Don't give two shits about this. Don't care.
I don't think anybody really does care.
Booster Gold casting rumors debunked by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Who were they saying?
It wasn't Chris Pratt. It was Aaron Taylor Johnson that he debunked. He didn't say anything about Chris Pratt.
Because I still think it's Chris Pratt. I think he's going to be Booster Gold.
Again, look, the thing is that all of that's moot, given how much time his contract is. That to me is the main story with James Gunn. Until he gets a much longer contract, the only real story with James Gunn is how good is Superman Legacy going to be? That's it. Because if that movie does not do well, all the rest of this is moot.
Yeah.
And given what's going on right now with Star Wars, I'm thinking if I'm James Gunn, I'm going to make sure that movie, it has to be good, but I'm going to make sure that film, I'm just going to pour everything into that film and try to make it the best experience ever, because I think he wants to continue on. I think he wants to do this. And if he and the Russo brothers are really trying hard to get Jon Favreau, that's worth pursuing. I think so. You bring some of that Marvel team into DC, I think a lot of the naysayers have to shut the F up if that happens. You know, because Jon Favreau will bring it, and he'll make it happen. Personally,
Yeah,
though,
he needs to be someplace where he's appreciated. That's all.
Orville.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the fact that the Orville was owned by Disney, I would say the Orville. He could throw himself into the Orville tomorrow.
Well, he helped Seth MacFarlane a lot along the way.
Yes, that's what I mean. I think Seth MacFarlane would really appreciate the assistance, because having him come in and again, people forget Favreau is a Star Wars fan, but he is also a Star Trek fan.
Yep.
Real Star
he's
Trek.
like us, because we talked about that this morning, because I explained what I said this, and I got in hot water for it at the time. I don't really care anymore. I didn't care then, because I was asked what's the difference between a Trekker and a Trekkie. I said a Trekker is somebody whose life is completely immersed into Star Trek. They walk around in uniforms. They're part of Starfleet International. They have their own starship, and and that's how they live their life.
Mm-hmm.
Trekkies are people who have a life and love Star Trek. It's just they both have the same love. They just express it differently.
Yeah.
And but I got to tell you, with with what we were just talking about, what was it? What were we talking about? Booster Gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, my big thing is I think that Gunn has one avenue, and if he doesn't take that exact avenue, this is going to blow up in his face. 2, he needs to get off social media. He's got to stop.
Yeah.
He's doing damage.
Yeah.
Almost every single time he posts something, he's like, Jesus Christ, man, do you not have a fucking manager? Do you not have somebody in charge of public relations at all? They've forgotten how to do stuff. Now, Mila Kunis completely debunks the rumor of her playing the Thing, which I thought was the dumbest thing I'd ever fucking heard. God only knows where those things get started. But I will tell you this, looking at this photo right now, she has the single most beautiful ugly face I've ever seen.
She's a gorgeous woman. I mean, that's never been
That's
a
an
doubt.
ugly face she's making. And look how beautiful she still is.
Yeah. I mean, again, Jupiter Ascending should have worked. The only thing that didn't work was the script was complete and utter garbage. But visually, Jupiter Ascending is one of the 5 best.
It's the
science
siblings
fiction
that
films.
screwed that up.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, but I mean, that film is one of the 5 best science fiction films if you just watch it without the sound on. It is a way better movie without the sound and the dialogue.
Not only that, the movie could benefit if you cut out that scene of the werewolf flying.
Hi,
while
Mrs.
skating.
A. By the way, hi, Pacific 414. Finn Jones will provoke with tease of shocking Iron Fist return. This is what I looked like when Mikey said that in our private chat when he announced that this was happening. I immediately was like this. I was reading it and I went, my whole body went slack. Because this guy put no effort into anything. And he didn't want to do the practice, the training. He just wanted to get the paycheck. And he's lucky he's getting this chance, and he better show some appreciation to the fans. Otherwise, they're going to reject him. They're going to reject him.
Here's my other thing, though, about that. Finn Jones definitely, I think, now appreciates more what he had from before. But to me, I'm looking right at Kevin freaking Feige. Dude, you made a big deal about coming in and swinging yourself around and being the big man. You kicked out the person who was providing success for everything Marvel outside of Marvel Studios. So now that you've taken over everything and everything's starting to suck because you can't concentrate on anything, you do this. So you better know what the blank you're doing. Because all Finn Jones did was, he's an actor. He wants to work. He got an offer. So while you can blame him for what he did in the past, everything going forward, this is all on Kevin Feige because he made a stink about taking everything over. I mean, he wanted to be the man. Well, I guess you're the man now. So all of this better not suck. Look, we have yet to see what his Daredevil is actually going to be. That writer's room better be good. It better be good. And he's yet to introduce us to who his Luke Cage is going to be.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. By the way, Socks, I don't require backstory being fed to me to enjoy a story. Backstory is not important unless it's important. And in that one, Book of Eli, I was more intrigued by what was going on then. Because look, I mean, we got it with Mad Max. We get the backstory. And I'm assuming it's a very similar backstory for Book of Eli. And everything I got on the screen in that movie, I enjoyed. And Mila was awesome in it, by the way. Now, here's this. Mikey Sutton wrote this. Darkseid poses in startling, inspiring picture with sell Zack Snyder Justice League to Netflix creator. So, Darkseid actor Ray Porter posed in a photograph with creator Skywalker the Jedi at SnyderCon. So there we got him. I know people are calling Skywalker a divisive person in our community. I've got no beef with him at all. I read what he's got to say, but I also find that I don't interact a lot with people who get into shit talking with each other.
Yeah.
Mostly because you'll get pulled into it. And you and I are never going to ever shit talk anybody in our community. Ever.
No. Well, it basically takes the focus off of what we're discussing and puts it right on us.
And it makes us the star of the moment.
Yeah. I don't need that. I don't crave that kind of attention.
I want us to always be agents of fun. Yes. Agents of news and entertainment news, but at the same time, it's supposed to be fun.
Well, kind of like with Robert Meyer Burnett. I mean, he always tries to have fun.
I know that there are people. Well, even R&B's pulled himself into that stuff.
Good point.
And it really was disappointing. It kind of broke my heart a bit when that happened. I'm like, oh man, please be above that.
Yeah.
I've had people go at me. I've had people take shots at me. People in the community take shots at me. Yeah. What do? I don't react to it. I don't care.
Both of us have had people take shots at us, and again, I'm too far along in my life to really, I mean, that's school stuff. That's teenager stuff.
It's like I said to a boss once that tried to bully me, and I looked at her and I said, "Hey." I stared down the evil end of an AK-47, fully intent on killing me. Do you think that you're going to have any impact on me with your words after surviving something like that? No, you're not.
Yeah.
No, you're not stressing me out.
There's a lot of different ways to go in this life, and I choose to try to be as positive as possible, even though there are people that will take shots at both of us. In fact, I had to endure a couple shots recently, and it was just like, hey, come on, man. Really?
Oh, it was on our show, and we were called man babies. And it went by me so quickly, I didn't even catch it. John and Martin had to tell me about it. I'm like, really? So I don't know if we're going to have him back on because of that. Because if you can't avoid name calling, because anybody that says man baby is guilty of what they're claiming.
Yeah, that comes out of the John Campia school of trying to deflect until you start screwing up left, right.
Your argument is lost the minute you start name calling.
Yeah. I didn't mind being name called because, again, it's like, look, that's more about you than it is about me. I can have a serious conversation about anything related to geek or nerd space. And I have what I have learned and the things that I've seen and my experiences. I will not go at you because of what you've learned in your experiences. I just have the things that I know. You bring the things that you know, we can talk it out, talk it through, find a lot of common ground. might even disagree about a few things, but at the end of the day, hey, we're both fans. We're all in this together.
Well,
And
that's the way I try to look at it.
yeah,
Let's find the common ground instead of always looking for where we don't agree.
yeah,
And so, I ask everybody to try to do that when they're on the show. Don't go at each other. It's not that I would kick you off the show, but if I catch it and I feel like you're not going to give up on it, I will kick you off the show. Nothing personal. It's just, I don't want to denigrate what we're trying to do here.
yeah.
Very proud. Keith is better than Gary. I'll tell you, man. Keith knows that I will stand against other people when it comes to defending him. We were on another friend's stream one night, and I'm very cautious now going on other people's streams because I'm notorious. And this is a true story. One of our friends deleted a show because his co-host pissed me off during the show. And I dug my spurs pretty deep into him. I drew blood on him. And I called him, I think the exact thing I called him was a fucking idiot. And I said, yeah, you're a moron and a fucking idiot if you think that. I'm not going to respect anything you have to say, so you can just blather on all you want to. And I'll just sit here and just stare at you. And my friend was so traumatized by this that he left the show and then deleted the show. It was gone. No one will ever see it.
Wow.
Never see the light of day again. But Keith knows that I will defend him to the hilt because we're on that one stream and the dude kept interrupting you when you're trying to explain something about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And he just didn't like it. Don't like it. So I'm just going to keep interrupting you. Remember that?
Yeah.
What did I say?
And again,
what did I tell that guy? What did I tell him? I said, hey, why don't you shut up and let him finish his sentence before you start attacking what he's saying?
I'd like to think that I broke through a little bit with him, that we were able to at least calm it down.
I blocked that guy a long time ago, way before that show, because he said something stupid to me in public. And I went, oh, I'm not going to interact with you. My time is important to me. And people, I don't waste my time on people unless they're worthwhile. They have to have something interesting to say. And he's a fucking idiot. And you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say his name because I don't do that shit.
It's one of those things where, for me, it's just there are a lot more important things in our lives than really getting worked up to the point where you just want to punch somebody. And this last year has really reminded me that there are more important things.
Yep.
I love doing this with you and everyone else because it is fun. And while I may say a few things that certain people may not agree with, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just giving you what I know. You may not agree with it, and that's fine, and we can discuss it and we can compare notes. And hopefully, if it's something that I can look at and go, oh, well, I didn't consider that, I can change my mind or do the same for anyone else that I'm talking to. And we can just come out of this going, okay, we both learned something and we can move on. And I think that's the proper way to be. It doesn't really benefit anyone to continue to act in a way that those who would rather not see all of this move forward can celebrate, which is really what it comes down to. Okay, I'm not going to say anymore because I was about to say something about somebody, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. This is a big personality, and I really do think that in many ways they may say they're a geek and a nerd, and they're not. They act like it, but they are also the first ones to.
Well, you and I catch a lot of people who are bullshitters.
Yeah, they pretend a lot, and while they're pretending, those of us that have spent. We can remember when being like this was really frowned upon. Mm-hmm. I can remember getting made fun of for, reading.
Well, now it's a niche thing, to be a nerd. And it's like, look, man, I ain't in this for your war, or what was it? I ain't in this for your war. I'm we've approached things from a different perspective with being a nerd. I want to point out that Joe just goes, so that's why you don't show up on Wednesdays anymore. One, I've never shown up on Wednesday, ever, because I do 2 shows on Wednesday, and that's a full 8 hours of work.
Mm-hmm.
doing that. And then I also have to do artwork afterward. And it's like, I can't even do Tuesdays right now. I'm trying to get on Tuesdays to do Toxic Tuesday because I love hanging out with those guys. But finding time is really getting difficult. But then my girlfriend steps in, and what does she say? Or maybe 2 shows are enough, Joe.
The lovely Anima.
But Joe knows I love him. He's a good dude.
Oh, Joe's fantastic. Joe's one of my
Whoa,
favorite
Bryson.
people.
I don't remember. No, she might have come on, but
Oh my goodness.
no. Anyway, I don't remember. Oh yeah, I popped on one time. I didn't stay long though. I just happened to be flipping through and saw that. Yeah, that was like happenstance. I had that free moment, and but I avoid going on shows a lot of times because I want to know who's going to be on there. Because I absolutely have zero tolerance for stupid, and nothing annoys me more than when somebody who's actually stupid calls me stupid because they don't understand what I'm talking about, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna fuck off. Well, we can disagree, and I'm like, no, you're a fucking idiot. I am not, because I actually spent time learning what I fucking know. And it just annoys me. People don't respect knowledge. And that's what they were doing that night with you when it set me off. Because you were trying to lay down some pearls of wisdom of stuff that you know.
Stuff that I know.
They just didn't like it because it didn't coincide with what they felt.
Yes.
Because feelings is important.
Welcome to Idiocracy.
You know what? I love all of this. I wouldn't have filled my head with a lot of this knowledge if I didn't love it. And for those that enjoy things that I may not enjoy as much, more power to you. I mean that. Positively and geekiness for everyone. That's really what I'm about. So,
and we have fun doing this stuff. So we do it so much. But I guess anything else we want to talk about here? Gal Gadot, keeping her in Wonder Woman 3 should be most important. I think that's a good idea. I love Gal Gadot.
If she's willing to go with a script that's actually good, yeah. You know, I mean, look, Wonder Woman 84 did me wrong. I mean, I physically
It did us all wrong. It did Wonder Woman wrong.
Oh, wow.
She did a terrible disservice to DC Comics.
Patty Jenkins, I like her, but wow, that was a wrong turn. And
is it Patty Jenkins or Leroy Jenkins?
It's Patty with Jeff Johns. And
oh
again,
my God, fuck
all
Jeff
of you
Johns.
guys holding out hope for Jeff Johns being the last hope, you got your answer with that movie. That's what you get with Jeff Johns. Because look, dude, you might be able to write your way around certain comics, but as far as making movies, you are just terrible. Green Lantern and Wonder Woman 1984. Really? 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 Oh my goodness.
Shut up, Shanatsky. And Sock says, who would dare attack Keith online? Point them to me. He is a fountain of geekdom. Yes, he is. That's why we're best friends.
Putting your trust in Jeff Johns is like grabbing the anchor and expecting it to save you when you're jumping off the Titanic.
I'm going to tell you something about Jeff Johns. The minute somebody starts talking about what a great writer he is, I look like Homer Simpson blending into the bush. I am leaving this conversation. I just want nothing to do with this conversation.
I got nothing against him personally. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy. I would have a beer with the guy like that. But all I'm saying is the proof is in what you've done. And to me, I look at what Green Lantern did, and the fact that Greg Berlanti and Jeff Johns and Guggenheim, all three have just, opted out of taking any responsibility for their contributions to that script says a lot. And then for Jeff Johns to kind of cry crocodile tears because the guy that he wrote with got an opportunity to write the first Wonder Woman movie, and got all kinds of success, and he got butthurt and thought he could do the same thing working with Patty Jenkins, and it didn't work out. Dude, you took an L on that one. Okay, you just own up to your mistakes. You know, as far as I'm concerned, that's 3 for 3 because to me, he's the major reason why we didn't really get the Batman movie. I still think he effed with Ben Affleck so bad that he chased Ben Affleck out of it. You know,
I wouldn't be surprised.
And okay, I'm done with it. I'm just not going to say the guy's name anymore because I figure if I say it one more time, he might appear and I might have to jump off here and hurt somebody. But I mean, it's just, I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. You know.
What is this? Most perfect casting in post 2000 superheroes. RDJ as Iron Man. Agreed. Cavill as Superman. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And I was not a big fan of hers at first because she's so thin. But once I saw her moves and learned that she was an athlete and a soldier, I was all behind it. But I do want to talk about this because this is something that we've talked about previously, that they should have already planned this and that we're finally hearing rumors of the Alita Battle Angel sequel is good news, in my opinion.
Yes.
I am not a big fan of Cameron. I think he's a complete see you next Tuesday. I cannot stand the guy, but I do like this character and I like the film. And I'd like to see a sequel.
It was a good film. It's for anybody that has not seen this movie up to now, I highly recommend it. It is one of those movies that you can have a lot of fun with, and everybody's good in it. You know, I don't understand anybody that is yet to get around to seeing Alita Battle Angel because it's a fun
movie.
Well done.
It's a fun movie, and it's once again she's not a Mary Sue. I like it when they do it correctly. As much as I do not like Dave Filoni, I do like The Bad Batch. I think it's a good show, but I think he's a complete turncoat, backstabbing piece of shit.
And you know what though? I gotta hand it to you though, Gary, because for the longest time, you had intimated that you had never really trusted Filoni. You know, so let me at least apologize because your gut instinct was right on. I mean, you had him almost from day one.
I pegged him.
I mean, I tried to hold out hope. I tried to be positive. And, oh, geez. It's almost like he stuck the knife right in my back.
There was something duplicitous about him. And look, I read people. I read their facial expressions. And Favreau, I called it way back when they did the making of special for the first season of Mandalorian.
Mm-hmm.
And they're doing that little round table.
Yeah.
There was a moment, and I pay attention to not just what people are saying, how they say it. I look at their expressions when they say it. And there was clear issues between Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau.
Oh, yeah.
They were obvious. And I'm so glad that other people have finally stepped up, showing that clip going, you can see it. And I'm like, yes, I spotted it the moment I watched it.
Yeah, you did.
And it's the same thing with Filoni. I read his behavior. Then I saw what he said at that one feminist meeting. And I'm like, yeah, this guy can't be trusted.
The moment you saw that clip, you were just like, I'm done with him. You said it. You were done with him. It was like, there's no way.
He's a
even though I tried to convince you, it's like, there's something positive. It's like, nope, you were done. You were done with Tony Filoni.
Yep.
So
it doesn't mean I don't enjoy what he puts out because I enjoy The Bad Batch. I like that show.
Me too.
I think it's gone stupid a couple of times. When you do something and it becomes super obvious what you're doing it wrong. That's a basic philosophy of telling stories. That if you are doing homage so much that everybody watching realizes you're doing an homage, you're no longer doing an homage. You're straight up stealing. This is the criticism I have of Quentin Tarantino. And he's aware of it. He knows it. He's okay with it. I'm not.
Yeah.
I have problems with it. With Filoni, he throws in neo-feminism, and I think it's stupid when he does that. Because you and I have talked about this before. And before we go to break, let's round this out really quickly because I want to get to this Ghostbusters thing before we go to break. When you have a woman and you want her to be seen as a strong woman, how do you do that? Well, you show her in a situation where she has to prove her strength, right? It's with any character. Take away it being a woman. If it's a guy, to show him being strong, like a guy being bullied. Let's say it's a guy being bullied, 3 O'Clock High. Remember that movie?
Mm-hmm.
How do we show his strength? We show it through not physical prowess, but through integrity, right? But if you got to show him stand up to the bully, you can't have him just get his ass beat. You got to see him throw a good punch. 3 O'Clock High again, gets a good punch in, knocks the bully out. Great movie, okay? Yeah. But again, that's not a bully of the same size, right? It's a big bully, right?
Yeah,
it's
the size difference.
Concept. It's the same concept. So if you want to show how strong a woman is, you have to pit her either against or with someone who's bigger, stronger, and obviously is designed for what they're showing. And then show her stand toe-to-toe with him, getting hit, taking the hits, and keeping going. That's how you show it. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has 2 women fight each other. Both of them supposed to be super strong. Didn't work. It looks stupid because they did it wrong. If you want to show strength, you have to show what it is that you have to show something that is perceived as stronger. Right? Correct. Simple fucking storytelling. Now, I want to get into this with Ghostbusters because this is interesting. We've met, you and I've met Ernie Hudson. He's a sweet guy.
Oh, awesome dude.
Yeah, I loved it when I cornered him in the elevator, telling him, because my poor daughter was sitting there just so nervous. And I said, just let you know, and I'm sorry to the woman that's with you right now, but my daughter expects to grow up and marry you. She grabbed me like, Dad.
Hey, it's Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson's so cool. He's a good dude. Ghostbusters star Ernie Hudson has teased the upcoming sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife and has revealed who else will be returning. The Ghostbusters franchise was believed to be dead and buried after the embarrassing 2016 female-led remake. Thank you. Who wrote this again? Kieran. Kieran said that. Thank you, Kieran. Let's see. A female remake. Nonetheless, Sony remained determined to turn it back into a global phenomenon it once was in 1984. With the latest entry, Ghostbusters Afterlife, it seems that the franchise has once again found its footing. This much-needed revamp brought back the same charm and humor as the first Ghostbusters movie. And it's true, I did enjoy it. A little bit too many member berries, but I still enjoyed the damn film. I really did. Moreover, it featured a return of the classic cast and lovable characters alongside a new generation, except for Rick Moranis, which broke my heart. I wanted him in there. Who now is retired, and Harold Ramis who sadly passed away back in 2014. Ramis' legacy was a key part. Fuck you, Keith.
Sorry.
Key part of Afterlife's plot, and he even made an emotional cameo during the final battle.
Yeah.
The actor was brought back through CGI and similar style of Carrie Fisher's role in Rise of Skywalker. But they got a really good actor to physically play him, who's also a well-known actor from TV and film.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the making of, you'll know who we're talking about. In addition, it was also directed by Jason Reitman, whose father directed the original 2 films, earning over $200 million worldwide with favorable reviews. It's no surprise that Sony announced another sequel. So, original cast member Ernie Hudson recently sat down with Rowan Patel on YouTube to discuss his latest project, Champions. Ernie Hudson portrayed Winston Zeddemore, of course, in Ghostbusters. Furthermore, he also gave us a tease about what's to come in the next Ghostbusters movie. So let me get right to it. Quote, I think now Winston has been very successful on his own, and he's made a lot of money, but he loves the franchise, and so he's brought a lot of his wealth to Ghostbusters to try to go deeper into what's going on and make sense of it. So we discovered that in the new film, And it's just a great adventure in the new film, and it is just a great adventure. But in the tradition of Ghostbusters, I love the fact that Winston, has a place, and it's not feeling like an add-on, which I agree. That was always been my problem with his character. Very much a part of it. So, yeah, it's already there in a great script. Gil Kinnan is directing this new one. Jason is producing, and it's just great, and great to be back with Danny and Bill and Annie Potts. I love that Annie Potts is back too. And new cast, it's been 40 years. It feels like family. So I'm stoked about this because the last Ghostbusters that we had that was good was the video game.
Yeah.
And I love that. It's considered the third Ghostbusters film. And it should be because it was really freaking good. I'm not going to get into that, Shinatsky, but Patton Oswalt I thought was a poor choice. I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's a good actor. I don't know why he got pulled in. I think it's a favor because his career's tanking. And I admit I cried when I saw that ending with Afterlife. Oh, man, all of us did. Anybody who says they didn't cry is a liar or is a cold-hearted bitch. Martin quotes me. Yes, fuck you, Keith.
What?
No, it's when you corrected me.
Oh.
Even though I was headed towards that self-correction, you corrected me before I could do it. And I'm like, fuck you, Keith.
I'm sorry.
Man. Who else is here? Have we said hi to everybody? Mrs. A. Shinatsky and Lady V is here again. She was with us this morning. That was a fun show this morning. We didn't do what we were supposed to do because nobody showed up. John was gone. Anima was gone. Don's sick. Nobody was feeling well. And I actually was going to tell Bill, hey, man, I can't make the show today just to see what he would do.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't do the show today. Sorry, man. I'm just not in the mood. Mood is for women in love play. Isn't that what Gurney says in June?
It's for women cattle and for love. Yeah. Yeah. Mood is for cattle.
Yeah, cattle and love play.
That was
God, I want to see that again.
I can hardly wait for the second Dune to come out. I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Me too.
I'm on pills for that. I'm emotionally dead inside.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, it is considered canon because it was the original team that worked it. And Bill Murray had to completely agree to come back on. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been. If Bill hadn't shown up, it wouldn't have been official. But because he joined on, that I think even, what's his name? The director was involved in the plotting and storytelling aspect of it with Harold Ramis.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a brilliant game. I love that game. I need to get another copy of that game. So
I think we are minutes behind the...
Oh, we are. Got to go.
Break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back in a minute. Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated? If you struggle with focus, run low on energy, or when it's time to finally sleep, you simply can't, dehydration, and Fuel Up has the answer. Our proprietary formula contains the finest cellular hydration with the strongest immune-enhancing natural ingredients. The Fuel Up system is made up of 3 different incredibly tasting varieties. Wake kickstarts your day with a jolt of caffeine. Play boosts focus while hydrating your cells. Rest not only helps you relax, but also rejuvenates your cells while you sleep. Here's what our clients have to say.
I really don't miss my coffee, and you can tell the difference.
So I'm going to take it for the energy. I'm going to take it for the play. I'm going to take it, all day.
And it works. That's the thing. It works. We love it.
Take the Fuel Up Challenge now, where we offer a Feel the Difference money-back guarantee. Fuel Up for life.
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh, wow. We survived. Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more pop culture minefield on KGRA. Yeah, we're back. We survived. I guess the next thing I wanted to talk about is David Zaslav's back in the news again. And Warner Brothers Discovery hour-long earnings call omits any mention of WGA strike, but CEO David Zaslav tells CNBC he believes, quote, a love for working, end quote, will end it. That is a shot across the bow of the Screenwriters Guild. It absolutely is. It's like you either want to work or you don't, is what he's saying.
Yep.
And we've also seen recently, and I still find it ironic and funny, that the WGA strike is based off of the concerns over AI, chat, whatever it's called, stepping in and taking over writing. Immediately go on strike. And what happens? The executives at studios are saying, well, why don't we go ahead and use the AI to replace them while they're not working? It's sort of like cutting off your head to spite your face kind of situation. And it's like, you can't make this shit up. It's like, it's ridiculous, this strike. It's really ridiculous because what's going to happen is going to happen. And they're hurting themselves right now doing this. They're hurting the industry. And so the industry is kicking back. Look, it's one thing if you're not getting paid. Everybody, and Zaslav also said that in his interview. He says writers deserve to get fair pay for their work. Yeah. Absolutely. But this is something else. Donnie Pearson is here. He says, Pop Culture Minefield, hello, Gary, John, Keith, Martin, and all. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hope everyone is well, despite the breaking news that the 8 Paramount-owned CW stations go independent.
Kind of expecting
that. So, look, things are going to be getting kicked loose. It's very simple. But David Zaslav here, once again in the news with this shit going on. And he's in the news for more than one thing. Warner Brothers Discovery hour-long earnings call with Wall Street analysts Friday morning included nary a mention of the WGA strike, unlike many other such calls in the recent days. But the company CEO told CNBC's Squawk Box in an appearance prior to the call. And by the way, never take advice from Squawk Box. They have the worst advice I've ever seen. But anyway, what he believes will bring the impasse to an end. Quote, a love for the business and a love for working. We all came into this business because we love storytelling. That's what's going to bring us together. Now, that sounds very pretty, but you got to look at the subtext of what he's saying. And that's one thing that Keith and I are very good at is reading. This is what he said, but here's what he meant. Do you want to assess it there, Keith?
I can't really read it that well because I'm on my phone screen.
So. I'll just say it to you again. A love for the business and a love for working. We all came into this business because we love storytelling.
Yeah.
That's what's going to bring us together.
Yeah. I think, look, as it stands right now, just like you were saying, this is a badly timed strike. And given how a lot of look, this is corporate Hollywood right now. So basically, you're not dealing with people, you're dealing with corporations. They're going to take a look at this and just make decisions. And they really don't care how you think about it. I mean, the Writers Guild really, they're the ones that are controlling a lot of this right now. And it might be in their best interest to either come up with a better deal that everyone can live with, or just get used to the fact that a lot of the worst writers are going to get replaced by AI.
Well, the last strike lasted, 6 months, right?
Yeah. And that did damage. I mean, according to Gary from Nerdrotic, there are still people talking about it almost 2 years later. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of the other workers, non-writers, there are a lot of other union people and other areas that were still talking about it, still kind of bitter. So unless they could figure out a way of making this work and quickly, this is only going to do more damage to them. Really, I
To
mean,
them, in the long run, it may end some shows.
Yep.
They're doing damage. They're doing damage. They think they're doing something good, but the fact is, in this given situation, I think it's a stupid argument.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would invite Cameron Pasha or any of our friends to correct me if they have the information that would correct me. But I got to tell you, I'm going to have trouble seeing it, because I understand it's important to work, and that if you're not working, other people aren't working.
Yep.
So you're having an impact on other people. And it's a rule of mine. Remove yourself if you're going to have an impact on other people that's negative. And that's why I find this very self-centered and not healthy, because they're doing damage to other people.
I think it, on the one hand, it really does say something that the people behind Batwoman have found a way to continue to do what they
do.
worked
without writers.
Well, they're working on that other Batman spinoff show that nobody's
Gotham
watching.
Knights. Yeah,
that nobody is watching, and it
they make a show without writers.
Oh, jeez. They pretty much prove that you don't really need talent to work a lot of different areas.
Yeah, because you got to be talented to be a writer, real writer.
And there are way too many non-talented people that are clogging it up. I mean, that's something that I heard WDW Pro talking about, and Valiant Renegade and others, that what you have is this may just prove to be a culling of really bad talent. Everything's been clogged up by allowing people into the business that have no business being there because they're not that good.
Well, so let's look at it this way. Is this a way of cleaning house to get rid of some of this riffraff? Could the studios use this as a means to getting rid of some of this riffraff? I would like to think so. I think that Zaslav is going to move ahead, and if he has to hire people non-union, I think he'll do it. I think he's the right guy to do that. Not unafraid. He'll hire non-union writers.
Yeah, well, look, the good news is that this is not going to affect House of the Dragon. They're gonna be able to work and film their episodes and get everything ready for next year.
Right.
So, unfortunately, this is also not really going to affect the Amazon series that shall not be named. The Ring-a-Ding-Ding Show.
The Ring-a-Ding-Ding-Ding-Ding-Ding-Ding-Ding-Ding show.
Hey, we have a super chat.
Hey, we have a super chat. Yeah, I saw that, buddy. Considering the crap, and this is Dennis McCullough for $5. Considering the crap that woke Hollywood puts out today, fire them all. There really hasn't been anything memorable since the last strike 15 years ago. We have a few things. I would say we have a few things. Anything by Taylor Sheridan is good.
Oh, heck yes.
Tulsa
King and
Tulsa King, yeah. But then, I really like the House of Dragons, or what do they call it? The series, whatever it's called. I like that show. I thought it was well written. There's other shows I think that are outstanding today. I enjoyed that new show on Netflix, Florida Man.
True.
First season of From was outstanding. I'm getting weird stuff. I'm not liking in the new season.
I really enjoyed Agent Elvis. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I still haven't finished it. I've been trying to find time to finish that damn thing.
It's not for everybody, but for the few people that it is. But look, let me just say this. Let's just cut to the big one. I'm looking at all of this, and all I can say is bring back the Venture Brothers. Why are we ending this? Why are we
Absolutely. Venture Brothers was good entertainment.
It still is.
Yeah. Let's see. For Dennis McCullough, your $5. Here is your thank you video.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man? Where's the money?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you very much, Dennis. And I think we still have some good entertainment, but I get what you're saying, that entertainment has taken a steep dive off of quality. And I think there's a period of time where we had some of the best TV going. And then all of a sudden, man, it took this nosedive into garbage land. And it's just like, oh my God.
Hey, Tom's in the house.
Hey, Tom. Hey, don't forget, Tom, we have a show tomorrow. We have a show in the morning. It's it's here it is. Here's the logo. There it is. And we're doing Jaws. Tom and Jerry do Jaws. That's tomorrow morning. It'll be a fun show. What did Tom have to say?
Oh, he was reading and
gave us a salute.
Yeah.
And I salute you back, my friend.
And he's confirming the tomorrow show.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be fun. Going to be fun. I've been... Tom, I got to tell you, man, creating those slideshows like Nick does, that's a bitch, dude. Because Mark does all that. He's the one who showed me how to do it. And, man, it's exhausting. I didn't even want to inundate Martin with it. I'm like, I'll get this done. But I wanted to make sure I got all of the subtitles. I didn't want to miss any subtitles for the dialogue. Because that movie, it's the dialogue. It's not just what's on screen. It's the dialogue that makes that movie so great.
Yeah.
Some of the best like when he tries to yell, he goes, "You guys don't want to go out there." He goes, "Whatever." And he turns around, they're all gonna die.
Wow.
Hooper's one of my favorite film characters ever. Not Hooper, I'm sorry. Wait a minute, is it Neary or Hooper? I get it's Hooper. Right? For Jaws. I always get the two characters he played confused, from Close Encounters and from Jaws.
Yeah. Neary's
I can't help it. Neary is Close Encounters. And I love that movie too. The BBC World Service will play the Choir of Earth version of Hallelujah chorus in over 0.75 hours time from now. I'm not sure how I feel about this coronation. I'm just trying not to even think about it. Dennis, with another super chat, says, "Here's your money. Navy rules." Navy gets the gravy and the Army gets the beans. Anybody remember that song?
Oh, first time I heard something like that.
The Navy gets the gravy and the Army gets the beans. There was one song I remember about a soldier writing home to his mom, and the song is like, it's almost like the summer camp song from when we were kids.
Camp Tijuana.
It's a lot like that. It's like the beans in the Army, they say are mighty fine. No, the biscuits in the Army, they say are mighty fine. One rolled off the table and killed a pal of mine. Oh, how I love the Army life. Gee, ma, I want to go. Yeah, that song. I can't remember. It's in a movie. That song. And I just remember as a kid, the biscuits in the Army, they say are mighty fine. One rolled off the table and killed a pal of mine. What a great line. Navy rules. I got to tell you, even though our Air Force came from the Army, without the Navy and the Air Force, we wouldn't be able to get to where we need to go. And I'm not calling you guys the taxis for the Marine Corps. I'm not saying that. It's just you guys, majority of this planet is water. It's like you guys sail the 7 seas, man. Awesome stuff. And by the way, I was in a discussion yesterday. If you guys didn't catch it, go watch the repeat of yesterday's show. We had Boone and Sarah. There were 2 people involved with the incident in Benghazi. And he was the sniper on the roof. And she was one of the point intelligence people. And she and he did the investigation and report, and then published the book on it of who was at fault, who did what, and named names. And we had him on yesterday. And I didn't have Don. Don was sick, so I handled the interview for the most part. And it was a great show, man. I left some questions on the floor because I don't know them that well. And I wanted to get to know them before I. So they've agreed to come back a second time, and I'm going to get into some deeper, going into the weeds questions about what happened in Benghazi, and really talk about what happened on the ground that night.
And we could find that particular episode where again?
It's on Pop Culture Minefield Wednesdays.
That's right. There
Dangerous Military Nerds.
It's also on Rumble.
Yeah. On KGRA.
What is it with you and Rumble? You're always doing that.
Not only on KGRA, but on Pop Culture Minefield's Rumble channel.
Yep.
Yes.
We made sure to simulcast.
Oh, so we did do that.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yes.
I did not know that. Okay.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Now they do keep the videos up. That was the thing that bothered me about one of the other video services is that it's only up there for 14 days and then it deletes. And I'm like, no. Yeah, Twitch, I fucking hate that. That's stupid. You know, I get it with gaming videos, but when we're doing what we're doing, this is content. This is, despite the silliness, this is intelligent, driven conversations about things.
Okay, I have the video for Dennis McCullough. Since he gave us very generously $2, I have this one for him.
I'd buy that for $1.
That chucklehead reminds me of some of the people that we know in our real life. People that laugh at shit that's not funny. And then to go, that's funny. And you go, look, man, I know comedy. When I see it, that's not comedy. You bet somebody glues themselves to the road in London tomorrow. Yeah, it's sad. Gordon Lightfoot. We also talked earlier about the breakup of Aerosmith today. But Gordon Lightfoot, man, that guy had some songs that just really hit home.
Yeah.
It is National Astronaut Day. Happy National Space Day. Did Gary see my previous chat? I don't know if I did. Because I try to see him, but when I'm talking.
This one.
Talk to my daughter. She's working locations on an upcoming Peacock show. She said they have enough script to work into June. There you go. That's good stuff. And if they don't, lie and say they do. So let's get this going here. David Zaslav says Warner Brother Discovery streaming business is, quote, no longer bleeding, end quote, which is meaning says they're finally moving into the black and no longer losing or hemorrhaging money. And that's good news. It's showing that what he was doing is working, but I'm still dissatisfied with some of the decisions that were made. I am looking forward, though, to the Flash movie. I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping that's as good as we're hearing.
Yeah.
But I am not excited over. Still, I'm not excited over James Gunn. And Saffron's the reason why is he's to blame for. And I know Gunn is trying to take some of the blame for that, but really, it's not a very good film. Shazam and whatever it was, I don't think it was that good a film. It suffered the sequel curse. And they call it the sequel and second season curse. I think From is going to suffer it. Bad writing or weird writing that is perceived as bad because it doesn't make sense. All sorts of stuff like this happens when they get their chance to follow up.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's weird that they put out that second movie of Shazam. And it was just, I watched the first 10 minutes and I just wasn't interested anymore. I hated that opening.
It's Walter Hamada. This is all under Hamada. And he had no idea how a lot of that stuff worked. And again, I don't enjoy cutting down Hamada, but the proof is in what he oversaw. So, again, he had to move on. There was just no room for him if he was going to be making these kinds of mistakes.
Yeah.
And when you have someone like Zaslav is about results, plain and simple. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's who he is.
Especially with the earnings call that was today at 8:00 in the morning.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Give us your thoughts on it.
Well, first of all,
where'd Fat Steven come from?
I came from the place where you weren't funny. I'm kidding. Hi, John. How are you doing? You tried to be Snipe. I can do it faster, bro. I got ADHD. Pretty much, let's look at Hogwarts. They are at 15 million units sold, and that is today. That they also dropped last gen, so PS4 and Xbox are now having theirs, and Switch is coming out in June or July. The first draft for Guns Superman has already been written up. That was announced in the earnings call, and the way they're going, I think they have a plan. I think WB's going and Discovery's going to pull something out of their ass. We're not going to say everything's going to be a success, but it's definitely going to be, I guess, promising to Zaslav.
Wow.
Yeah,
I do like that he underplayed the strike, and I think he took a shot across the writer's bow by saying, you'll work if you want to work.
I guess
you got to want to.
Well, I was about to say something. I was about to derail us, but after what happened with DC Comics yesterday,
what happened with DC?
Well, they finally named their president.
It's Walter Hamada.
Not quite.
That wouldn't happen. They wouldn't pass a burning building to another burning building.
Who was it? Who was it?
Please don't say Heather Antos.
It's not Heather Antos. It's Jim Lee.
I could do worse.
Basically, the same guy that's been overseeing everything the last few years. They just gave him the
also
president's
gave
job.
that stupid interview.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year. Remember that? That stupid quote for Hamada? Oh, my God. He's a Hamadaite.
Yeah. So they just let him run everything, basically. And, wow. I like Jim Lee. I don't know the guy personally. I like him. But, wow. Just, wow. That's... He's been there long enough to see everybody that's been walking through DC Comics these last 5 to 7 years. Oh, jeez. I like Jim Lee a lot, but...
Yeah, I'm not excited about this either.
Yeah.
Well, before we go into the last part of the show, I wanted to jump over to this because this is something that Deadline did scoop. And I'm curious what's going to end up happening over this. But it is official, Yellowstone to end. Sequel greenlit at Paramount with Matthew McConaughey still in talks to star. And this goes back to the whole incident where Costner wanted some extra time with his family and requested to not have to obligate his or fulfill his contract. And he wanted the 2 weeks off that he was contracted to work. Because I think it was either 6 or 8 weeks, and he wanted 2 of those off. That's all he had to work. And apparently it led to something. Some people are saying that he got mad and he's leaving. I've heard that Sheridan was pissed, as were the executives, and were using McConaughey as a means to get him to rein in his heels, to fucking lighten up. Didn't work, and apparently this is happening now.
It's a lot of character clashing. You have 2 very strong-willed men. Taylor Sheridan is a very strong-willed guy. He wants things to basically go a certain way. And he's proven with his success that
he's also a base dude. I'm not, we're not discussing his politics. We're discussing who he is as a person. He's very base. And I don't think Costner is as base as he likes to pretend he is.
Well, Costner is also known for being a bit of a diva. So you have 2 alpha males and both of them are fighting for how to guide everything forward. And basically, yeah, it was never really. I don't know. The fact that you got 5 seasons out of this
is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's
I'm not
pretty
saying
good.
you should be happy about it. I'm just saying that those kind of personality types don't usually even last a year. So the fact that they got 5 seasons out of this, wow. So
I'm hoping we keep some of the characters. I do hope we keep some of the characters with this sequel. But I got to tell you, if anybody would get me to want to watch it, it's Matthew McConaughey. So,
yeah, Matthew McConaughey's good dude.
Yeah, he is.
Speaking of good sequels, I just finished Guardians and I actually enjoyed it. That's all I'll say. I'm not going to spoil it. Yeah.
Wow.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good.
I'm going after the show, so.
Okay, now I'll spoil it.
Oh my God.
John,
oh, for fuck's sakes, John. I'm not actually going to spoil it. Grow up. Yes. Can we get sponsored by Wet Naps for those tears, please?
Hey, John, there's always Guido.
You know what? Let me at least ask this. Steven, I need to ask you this. What did you think about the news about Babylon 5?
If the animated the movie?
Yeah.
What I think it is that that's a tester to see whether or not, because we got a made-for-TV movie when Babylon was first announced, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so think about it this way. If they're trying to push an animated universe, what do you do first? The same thing you did with the original.
Mm.
And if that movie is successful, guess what? You get new voice actors in. You can still keep the same characters, and you can branch out the stories without the limitations of CG, real actors, and a budget that's more fit with an animated studio.
Look at you, man. Look right. Oh, geez.
Just importantly, they can bring back actors that have died.
Good point.
To keep their characters.
One last thing on Zaslav. What it is he says that they had a $50 million profit. It's the first profit they've had since he joined.
Wow. So they were down almost $7 billion technically, and they've made
they've replaced that $7 billion and now made $50 million over top of it. So
man,
they're heading in the right direction.
In Zaslav we trust.
Yep, Zaslav is the big.
There was another thing he said that was actually pretty good during the earnings call. He says, we own our IPs. We want our customers to feel like they're immersed in the IPs. That's why Hogwarts was so successful. I'm expanding a little bit of the words there. And he wants to, and then he said, after they followed up with that's where the script for the first draft of the script for Superman was followed in. And I'm thinking we might see a Superman movie down the road, or even a game. I think they're starting to push that their franchises go with the source material, whether it be gaming or film. So not only are you immersed in the entertainment of visual, but you're also immersed with the games or anything else coming on down the line.
You know, if they're able to get Favreau, I'm telling you.
I don't think Favreau's leaving Lucasfilms for a while.
You don't? You think he's going to stay?
Actually, I've got a thing about that.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be waiting depending on how season 4 goes.
What do you got, John?
Let me present it here real quick.
That's also the rumors that right. He's also going after the Russo brothers as well, right?
Well, I think the Russo brothers want to work.
Rumors come and go, but when they conform to things you've actually seen with your own eyes, when they line up with observed reality, you've got to at least take them seriously enough to examine them carefully. Look, this fact is impossible to ignore, folks. Jon Favreau killed off his own personal avatar at the end of The Mandalorian, a character that he not only identified with, he did the voice for this character, for God's sake. Paz Vizsla was a character that Jon Favreau voiced from way back in the day and continued to voice on Mandalorian. Paz was kind of his alter ego, for want of a better word. And what was Paz's ultimate fate? He died beaten down by Praetorian guards from the fucking Last Jedi. The symbolism here is unmistakable. Paz, identified with Jon Favreau, representing the forces loyal to George Lucas's vision of Star Wars, was beaten down and killed by the Praetorian Guard of Last Jedi, representing Kennedy's new wave of Disney Star Wars. Is there any other interpretation here, other than a coded message that Kennedy's vandalism of Star Wars had prevailed? That Favreau was beaten, and Star Wars is now well and truly fucked right up the poodoo chute with a red lightsaber dialed all the way up to 11.
Poodoo. Poodoo.
Wow.
Yeah, I think he said that pretty succinctly. I will tell you that Dimcock got a hold of me last night, and
where did he touch you?
He said,
"Why are you so fat?
Why are you so fat?" He goes, "Hey."
I love that sound. I'm not gonna lie.
I have spent this day being interrupted.
Oh, really? I wasn't here for the whole day, so is it? So I apologize.
Yeah, I know, but I will fucking remove you in a second just so I can finish. I did it to Bush earlier. I fucking took him off screen so I could say something. Okay, who's unwrapping a fucking candy bar?
Not me.
Not me. I'm not eating.
All right, one of you motherfuckers is unwrapping something.
Gary, stop interrupting yourself. Come on.
So Doomcock wrote, he goes, "Hey there, yes, I'd be very happy to hop on and do some paranormal radio with you guys sometimes. Perhaps we can set it up soon. I love Don Ecker. He's a very cool guy, and it would be a blast to talk this kind of stuff with both of you guys."
Wow.
Cool.
So that was Doomcock's message to me last night. So
cooler than cool.
Yeah, that's just one of the clips I got for today. That
yeah, let's
about.
Get to the clips. We're now at the second half of the final hour.
Okay. This one.
What is the next one? Set it up.
That's what I'm doing.
Because I want to celebrate a lot of our community. You know,
this one is Valiant Renegade talking about the night, the strike, and why the Knights, the
Praetorian Guards.
No, not the late night shows are dead.
Oh,
decades of storied history on the small screen. Late night TV is officially dead. And that final nail in the coffin was driven in by the Writers Guild strike that started just yesterday. But the demise of this classic piece of Americana has been years in the making, with declining ratings and revenues across the board. And even one show reportedly losing nearly $20 million a year. It's no wonder it's going out of style. With so many other avenues for folks out there to get connected to celebrities, it's amazing that late night TV made it this far. But then again, if a late night TV show host falls in the woods and nobody's around to watch him, does anyone care?
No, to be straight honest here, late night, the way I say, died with Craig Ferguson. I said this on the Pro Show yesterday.
Well, he's going to be the one that revives it.
Yeah, but it died with Craig Ferguson. But you know who killed his late night show was the person who got it after him, and that's Corden.
Oh yeah.
So Corden's the 20, but Corden's the 20 million loss.
So we look at this with this happening right now. Timing couldn't better, and words that we're hearing is that Sony is trying to ramp up to do it sooner with Craig Ferguson's new late night show, which he said in his interview that he is bringing back his little cheeky puppets.
Yes.
Which means, of course, it means Jeffrey Peterson.
And Secretariat, probably, as well as the voices he does for Jay Leno Fly, the band behind the curtain.
The puppets. I'm very excited by this, that he's coming back. Late night needs him.
Yeah.
It needs him.
Yes.
Because that was back when late night was fun.
Yes.
And so we're going to bring that shit back. And of course, the great thing about him going back to the strike back in 2008 is the fact that he went the opposite direction of everybody. And instead of writing, he went to improv. And all of his shows during that strike were done with improv.
Wow.
And he didn't alter, because the other shows were like beefing up their guest lineups. He didn't do that. He kept it exactly as it was. The only difference was instead of writing the comedy, he would improvise the comedy, and it worked in spades.
I think he's still on tour right now too, right? He's still doing a comedy tour, and yeah, honestly, if you guys haven't seen Craig Ferguson, any of the montages on YouTube, you will be entertained within the first half hour. It's much better than what you're seeing with the fall of Colbert, Corden, Jimmy Cries a Lot, Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon might survive. SNL is finally dying. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm happy because they don't write or skit anything anymore. What do they do?
Well, what they did in the past, when they got close to dying previously, in the last 40-some years, they would revamp. They would go back to the drawing board, fire everybody, and bring in a new crew. That's how that whole John Lovitz thing happened, because like everybody got fired but John Lovitz. Remember that?
Can we just, I'm hoping that it brings to the table, let's say there is a Writers Guild strike going on. I'm hoping there's people with a resume just good enough that are so willing to write that studios look at that, bring those younger minds on that are actually caring and energetic about entertaining and comedy, and no more of this political bullcrap that oversways the point of a joke.
Yeah. I agree.
How do we go from Bill Murray to a fat guy singing about C-19 in the middle of the street thinking everything's okay? How do we go from this? Norm Macdonald, I'm bro, he's in a better place right now because he doesn't have to look at this crap.
Yeah, he's probably turning in his grave.
Yeah.
If there's room. If there was room.
Yeah, there was. He probably has a bunch of stuff in there.
But SNL's been dead for a while. I mean, as much problems I have with Seth, what's his name? Seth
Meyers.
Seth Meyers and Tina Fey's politics, I still found them very funny. Mm-hmm. And when they left SNL, the news is the reason why. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, the news
segment. I only watch for the news segment. Now for the fake news. I love the fake news on SNL. It's not been funny since they left.
I was the same way, pretty much. The fake news was great, but also the opening monologue, especially with a guest that you think will go off the hinges because you know their track record. And when they do that,
like Steven Seagal.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that one, but like with SNL, I think everyone's gonna have a different opinion. Their 40th anniversary was their last best show when you got everyone coming back and they had that Jeopardy segment. That was the end.
Yeah,
it was the end.
You got any more videos, John?
Yes, I have two more. This one is Ryan Kennel discussing Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and its projected box office.
All right.
Problems and box office disappointments that we've seen from the Marvel Cinematic Universe over the past few years. There was one movie that nearly everyone said, you know, even if they've had some problems, this is probably going to be good for them. There's no way that this could flop, is there? And that was Guardians of the Galaxy. Why Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be the kickstart the MCU needs. And a few months ago, this is what all the headlines said. Despite Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania tanking at the box office, a massive flop. This is a movie that needed about $600 million to break even, couldn't even reach $500 million worldwide. Really, truly pathetic. But the last hurrah for all these characters, James Gunn's final entry in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, was coming right around the corner. But unfortunately, as we've seen, and this is pretty unbelievable to be honest with you, the box office projections, they didn't start off very well for Guardians of the Galaxy. In fact, from the very beginning, it looked like it wouldn't even open up to the same level of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 all the way back in 2017. And in the weeks since then, it's only continued to get worse. And even just in the last day, the projections have been lowered for Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 box office estimates take a hit. Will MCU fans turn out for the last version of the team as James Gunn heads to the direct competition? This is over on Cosmic Book News.
Is he sick?
There you go.
Sounds a little nasally.
What's that?
Is he sick? He sounds a little nasally.
I don't know. By the way, Kyle is here, Zax, and I have a video for you, Zax. I have a video for you. This one is just for you, Kyle. I captured this. I watched the movie Renfield and laughed my ass off at that film. I enjoyed the crap out of it. But I got this clip just for you. Are you ready, Zax? Here you go.
I want to offer you a full promotion, right? Better hours, better pay, better parking space. In fact, Kyle's parking space. Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
Congratulations.
Fuck you, Kyle.
Also, I got a recommendation. Go watch Sisu.
I actually
to finish John Wick.
Planning to see it here as because I don't know if is it playing here in town, Keith?
Should be.
Yeah,
I hope
it should
so.
be.
I'm expecting it to be at the Alamo at least. So
yeah,
we'll see. Happy Friday to you too, buddy. And that was my video. I've been holding that, waiting for you. That's funny. That's funny. I got this one for Don, and Don's been sick all week, so I'll play it for you.
Dave and Matthew, what is it now? For God's sake, no one's smoking, okay? But nothing! You know what we need around here is an anti-whining ordinance. So just sip your sniffling lip and all your skinny ass out of it!
Phil Hartman.
What a great show. So let's see. What's the next one you got queued up?
Well, this is the last one. It's Clownfish TV talking about Marvel replacing writers for Phase 5.
All right, let's go.
Talk about a rumor that Disney is taking a good hard look at the MCU going forward, and they're bringing new writers in to potentially try and salvage Phase 5. Now, we know that Victoria Alonso got ousted, and this is kind of curious that this is coming out at that same time as the writers' strike, so who the hell knows what's going to happen, but...
Well, they posted this today.
Yeah, so this is today.
The writers' strike's been going on for a couple days.
So there's obviously... something going on here, and they have to be looking at the box office returns. I mean, Ant-Man 3 did not do well. The projections for Guardians 3 are dropping. And Disney is not going to have another, billion-dollar Marvel movie anytime soon.
Well, the Marvels, I don't think people are really interested. Like, there hasn't been like a lot of, hype about that one either. And they pushed it back so many times. People are just like, well, it must suck or something.
So this looks like it could be potential damage control. Again, this is a rumor. It's coming from Jeff Snyder on the Hot Mic podcast. Take it with a grain of salt. We're going to look at this rumor and give thoughts on this rumor before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys.
But he has
if
a
you
line.
do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
You get a woohoo, and that is more excitement than we can muster up for the MCU currently. I have no excitement.
So what'd you say, John?
I was going to say I thought, that I left that promo in there just because of the excitement for his comment about his excitement for Marvel.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to play this one. Let's see. Where's it at? I got to get to the Chrome tab. All right. This one I brought for Steven Seagal. Fat Steven, right here. Fat Steven, you here?
No, I'm just currently checking my app for how to buy.
Okay, you need to watch this. This is for you. Okay, this is from Quarter Crew. I'm assuming everybody knows who they are.
Is this the one where the John Wick? Yeah, I saw it.
Just watch. You already saw it. I'm going to play it again. I freaking love this.
People tagged me as soon as that thing went around.
I had it all, man. Fast cars, best friends, extremely young women. But them dick-skin honkies took the one thing that mattered most. My chair.
It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to. The greatest assassin to ever live.
I'm a professional killer.
Handsome, wise, and articulate.
Once Abnormal's confirmed to be in there, you can take him out and wait for my word.
He's also really good at guitar, and he did it all sitting down.
Old habits die hard.
They gonna have to pay for what they done.
Have you returned to the fold? My brother, if I get back in, I need resources. Let me tack up.
Wait, is he standing?
No, I'm running.
You run, you die. You gotta tell me straight so I can know who's coming for us.
Our pleasure, sir.
It's like a monkey trying to fuck a football now, really.
What have you done?
We've just succeeded in burning these bitches to the ground.
You, working again?
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm black.
I'm just so tickled by when he runs down the alleyway, his arms flailing. I'm like, three-quarter crew is like nuts. Those guys are the best. I get such a kick out of their crazy sense of humor. They've got a web series that's now available pretty much everywhere. Son of the Dungeon, I think is the name of the show. Have you guys seen that? Nobody? Yeah.
No. Steven Seagal and his slap fighting.
Slap fighting. I think the coolest thing he ever did was the knife fight with Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was one of the best things I ever saw him do on screen. They were going at it with those knives, and that was fucking cool. And that Tommy Lee Jones was keeping pace with him. Oh, that was cool. But Aikido is like what we referred to in martial arts as the lazy man's martial art, because you're not putting effort into it. The other person's effort is being used against them. And but still, he turned Aikido into a striking art when it's not. It's a throwing art, using other people's momentum. It's for throwing and disarming. But I don't know, man. He made Aikido cool back in what was it, 88 when he did Above the Law. Is that 88, 87, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And he helped revive martial arts films.
Yeah, he did.
So, as much shitting on of Steven Seagal deserves for a lot of his later stuff, what he did early on was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And he should be thanked, because martial arts films got that boost again because of what he was doing. Keto is a fighting style.
Wow.
Aye, keto.
Can you smell? La 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 la.
Yeah, so we are now down to the last minutes of the show. What do we want to talk about before we go? Leave it up to you guys.
I'm just wondering how long they can continue to just mess up with Marvel Studios at this point, because there's nothing else for quite a while until Deadpool 3.
Well, technically, isn't Deadpool 3 under the Sony guys or Fox?
Well, Fox is now owned by Disney.
You're forgetting the Spider-Man across into the Spider-Verse. That's also coming out.
Well,
and Kraven the Hunter.
That's a slightly different situation. I mean, Deadpool really does belong to Disney, and yeah, I just want these things to be good. I want the MCU to get their mojo back and stop just giving us what they've been shoveling at us.
Guardians will fill, I guess, that void, depending on how you take it and how it branches out. But at the same time, right after Guardians, you're going to get Little Mermaid, and that's going to bring Disney's attachment to any other properties down a hole again. Peter and Wendy was absolute garbage. Don't care if people don't agree with me. That's my opinion. And we're looking what's coming down the road. We're pretty much entering a blank slate. Well, except for Pixar's Elemental. We know nothing about that. Pretty much the only thing we have to look forward to is physical copy release of the Mario Brother movie, and hoping for a trailer for a Zelda movie by hopefully the start of next year. That's it. And Doom 2. Sorry, Doom 2. Because their trailer dropped. And
Actually, Cal, they're not making money. Their movies are failing to break even.
How are they messing up? They're not making a profit. Quantumania.
Well, the main mess up, I think, is what he's asking is, where they're messing up is not putting out the quality filmmaking.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Marvel Studios, in terms of quality for phases 1 through 3, it was without question. And everything that they've had since the beginning of phase 4 has just not been worth the lint in my pocket. So
they haven't grasped the magic, and that's why a lot of people were fearful with Guardians, because it seemed to have its own nostalgia or its own niche of magic and delivery of comic books. But there's nothing going on, and they're not even trying to attempt an Iron Man 1 feel or a Winter Soldier feel or an Infinity War feel. They feel like they just throw crap together, try to make some lame jokes, and think they're hip with the times, and they're not, because they're not balancing their heroes; they're only replacing them.
Wow,
that's a good point. Yeah, it's a very good point, Stephen. I do have a question. Has anybody seen the Equalizer 3 trailer yet?
No.
None of you guys have?
No.
Yeah, it's out. It's been out for a few days.
Okay, look at
and-
this.
I don't want to see that.
Oh, fantastic, Cal. Thank you so much, man. We appreciate your input, dude. But no, the Equalizer trailer is out, and I got to tell you, he looks old. It's the first time I've seen Denzel look old, and it kind of weirded me out. But it still looks good. It looks good, but I think he's trying to make himself look older in this. But it's a damn good trailer. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It is available online. I can't wait to see till something awesome critic-wise comes out and you all start sucking Marvel's dick again. I will never suck their dick because I don't know where it's been.
There's a difference.
It's been in Brie Larson. That's where it's been.
There's a difference between giving praise and sucking dick. There's also a difference between being critical and being called a racist. It all depends on the perception of the film and how people listen to you. So it has nothing to do about sucking dick. We can say the same thing with Luke Skywalker, Mando 2. It doesn't matter.
Sachs has been a member for 18 months. And Monkey Jesus has been one for
I'm
9
sure we're going to
months.
get called for this, and I'll delete it later. I don't care.
apologize.
I'm going to show the trailer. And there it is. Yes, I will have to delete it. I know. I will. It's also too long. I may not show. Right, this time it's in Italy.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Did you catch that? He had a fucking meat cleaver in his face. Go back to that. That's it. I'm just telling you. I'm in. I am all in on this movie. What do you guys think?
As a fan of the original series, I have liked these movies a lot. And I must say I am totally in on this movie because, you know, it's Denzel.
By the way, Dakota Fanning is back in this one. Her character returns.
Wow.
Is it Dakota Fanning? Hold on, let me double check. I'm gonna double check real quick because
Police found multiple dead.
yeah, it's Dakota Fanning. She returns to work with him again. Here, I'll show you again. Here it is, right here. Present, share screen. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. There's Dakota with him. So, Man on Fire connection. And I got to tell you, there's a connection to Man on Fire as well in the premise, because do you recall what the plot was in the original book, Man on Fire?
Oh, jeez.
It was kidnapping, but in Italy, and it was the mob.
Ah, yes.
So he's in the movie Men on Fire, the second adaptation, where it takes place in Mexico, but originally it was in Italy. And I think I don't know. I find shit like that interesting.
We're down to the last minute.
Nobody cares. They're not watching us anymore. They all left.
Oh, man.
No, we still have tons of loyal listeners on KGRA.
Yes, we do. We have thousands listening to us on KGRA, and we have 18 in our chat right now talking with us. And I want to thank all of you for being here today. Let me get into the thank yous. Let me get into our private chat. I'll begin with Christian Delorme, the lovely Penny, Dragon Ruse, Sox Bulletins, Love of My Life, Anima Confusa, Joe's Atmosphere, Dennis McCullough, Pacific 414, Mrs. A, Shinatsky, Lady V Elements. Martin liked her so much he listed her twice. And Donnie Pearson, Andy Morrow, Midnight's Edge, Tom was here, Kingsport Cal, Zax, aka Kyle. Fuck me, Kyle. Monkey Jeebus, and that is it. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks for getting here, Stephen. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Martin, and thank you, Das Wolfen. Bill, thank you for running the show for us. And from the back of the studio, in this thing so we can all go home and sleep.
Those sons of bitches.
Ma, I'm doing a show.